The tussle in the Moto division continued in League 3, with Toby Hedricks leading this morning, but Jake Smith had the advantage of following his dust trail.
When you're leading out, obviously it's hard to, you've got to set the tracks, you know, so the guys can see where you're going. So it's hard to make time. See, like this morning I made a minute in 30 Ks. So yeah, it's quite tricky, but I'd rather be out of the dust and doing my own thing than riding in dust and taking risks. So.
And do his own thing he did. Through the brand new Melton Grove stage just east of Spring Hill, Smith set a fresh dust trail and a cracking pace for the rest of the Moto division. But it was Toby Hedricks who was quickest, by a full minute across the 42-kilometre stage, which introduced rocks into an event that has been otherwise dominated to date by sand and dirt. Front runner David Jeeves didn't lose a position despite dropping his bike near a fence on the stage, but he did damage the ICO sender, an integral part of his navigation system.
Damaged the ICO cable, sensor cable, so luckily our friends from Condo had another spare one, and we're putting a new one on, so I'm ready for this last stage.
Sam Davies' great day yesterday continued through the first two stages, whipping the Husqvarna for speed, but perhaps he whipped a little bit too hard as the engine blew up and he was forced to retire. Team boss David Schwartz was following close behind.
I pulled up and he said he blew it up, so that's all I know. We always knew that he'd make a good rally rider, and this just proves it, and unfortunately luck's probably not on his side this time.
That put Matt Gillespie in his KTM 500 up into third.
Unfortunate what's happened to Sam, but I suppose that's motorsport, that's racing, especially on a big endurance event like this, and bike trouble's something that could happen to anyone. My expectations are always just to get through to the end in one piece, and wherever I finish is just a bonus.
The Auto division today was a more open affair. With a commanding lead, Glenn Owen dialed the Turbo V6 buggy back a notch to preserve his lead, and that provided 4 different stage winners for the day. Owen was first through the 134-kilometre opening stage, and while spectacular through Melton Grove, the stage honours went to Jason Noonan in the next quickest buggy. John Pursehouse found the gutter everyone was warned about.
Coming down that hill, it was really slippery, a lot of large rocks. So you're skating around, even though in the instructions said right on the left, we slid around and dropped into that, and then we bounced back onto the road and kept going. So it's a difficult bit of road to go through, and probably the only section of rock we've actually had in the whole event so far.
Loose nuts would force them to change wheels, but it was navigation that was causing the most loss of time for everyone. Michael Denham and Daniel Adam had the trophy truck flying, but no amount of speed would make up for navigation errors, and that would be their downfall. The Coconut Racing team was also fast, but they too were finding navigation challenging, and that brought the two teams together.
So we're having a flyer. I think we passed 2 cars on the road, and about 5k from the end, unfortunately had a bit of a coming together with myself and Michael Denham.
Oh, we just got ran into, but Michael was just bunting there. Bunting there?
Yeah.
Okay, which way are we going?
So we got up to a fence post, went right. As we're coming up to the turn left, out the corner of my eye, I see this big blue trophy truck, and all of a sudden it's spinning around, and fortunately he hit us in the spare wheel on the side of this car, so it's absorbed a bit of the impact, but unfortunately Michael's out of the race.
Denham kept going, but with a damaged radiator he couldn't start the final stage before lunch.
I zigged when I should have zagged, or zagged when I should have zigged, one or the other. Busted the radiator, too much to fix to try and do it. It's broken all the front frame, so finished.
All this was good news for Tony Quinn, who had rejoined after clutch failure yesterday. 4th fastest in stage, although he thought he was quicker.
He said it was 80 kilometres, and we came to the finish line. I said, Jesus, that was quick. I thought, oh, I'll be a hero here, but it's only 40 k's, and then we went to the 80k one. But look, I think everything's going good, and I think he's doing a good job. Well, Troy, I reckon. I'm going to go home and write him a letter of congratulations. He has joined the ranks of ultimate idiot for running an event.
Josh Wilson jagged the stage went through Mullarool with some spirited driving. Another relative newcomer to cross-country rallying who's one to be watched. John Pursehouse ended the day on a high, winning the final stage, but the same couldn't be said for Trevor Hanks. A right rear rose joint broke, forcing him to limp through to the end of the day. Just one more day's competition remains. Plenty to play for and plenty of action to be had, with another 200 kilometres of special stages still to go.